the Irish 2,000 guineas, that's right, which is going to be live on ITV. It's coming up at 3:40, and it's the Brits very much at the top of the betting for this. So this is how they bet, with Royal Scotsman at 3.0, 5.5 for High Royal. So they're the second and third from Newmarket. Then Paddington is 5.5, Proud and Regal 7.0, bigger prices thereafter. Dees, welcome along. How are you, and who do you like in this?
I'm very good, Tom. Thank you for asking. I like Donegal O'Brien's horse, Proud and Regal. He had a good season last year. He was someone that kind of caught my eye, especially at that race behind Alrifa. Alrifa was a very good winner, but I thought Proud and Regal ran a great race that day and finished the season winning at St. Cloud. He's made his debut this season in the Derby trial, that Sproul won at Leopardstown. Now that wouldn't have been ideal conditions for him. They stepped him up and trip, and he ran perfectly well. Might have got stuck on the ground. They dropped him back and trip for this. I think that he has a mile might be his thing. He should be spot on as well. I mean, he might have been 100% fit that day, but this could have been the early season target. He's a nice price. He's about 7.0, so I'll have a go off him, win only.
7.0, win only. I think we've got 4 different selections going up here. That's Proud and Regal for Dees. Ed, you're keeping faith with the leading light from Ballydoyle?
Yeah, I'd tentatively be with Paddington. It's more of a case, Tom, I'm against the market leader. That'd be my overall view. And if I had to pick one, I would go with Paddington. I think it's clearly on an upward curve and trained by Genius. But I'm not.
Ed, why are you against the market leader? I'm interested.
I don't think he's a miler. I really don't. Showed great turn of foot to win over 6 twice last year. I thought in the Dewhurst, his Petrolite was coming on at the end of 7. Just about held on to him behind Chaldine. And then, I mean, it was a remarkable run in the Guineas in many respects. It was his raw class got him a 2.5 length third. But watching that race back again, I mean, he's pulling Jim Crowley's arms out for... I almost put him into the category of the Sakir or the Little Big Bear, or to me, he looked like a sprinter who was having to go at a mile and didn't get home. I get a feeling he might end up like the 7 furlong niche trip might be his race. I think is it the Lennox Stakes at Goodwood. That could end up being his type of race. I just think, look, he's going to have to settle a whole bit better in this encounter here to get the job done. Now, obviously, Jamie Spencer comes in for the ride. I imagine they'll try and Jamie will race the ambulance in last and try and anchor him and get him to switch off. But he just looks skinny enough for me when, a whole host of unknowns in behind him, really, including, as you say, Paddington, who's won his last 3. And I'm not totally convinced he's going to make up into a miler. I think they want him to make up into a miler. And it was interesting listening to Oliver Cole saying that they'll probably go to the St. James's Palace Stakes after. But if it doesn't work out, we do have the option of coming back in trip. And as soon as I start hearing a trainer throwing that out, to me, I think it's already in their psyche. They're not totally bought on the sense he's a miler. But if he can go and land a classic, you kind of only get one crack at them, then so be it. And it'd be brilliant. So, yeah, I'm against the favourite, really. I'm laying the favourite. And but if you took him out of it and said, who am I going with? I'll be with Paddington. I still think it's an element of High Royal. It's a little bit of a fluke in the in the Newmarket equivalent, and that was on very soft ground. Going to be much quicker here today, so I'm just not bought by those at the head of affairs, especially Royal Scotsman. I just think a mile. I just wonder if it's right at the upper end of his tether.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree on that on Royal Scotsman. I think what he does in the early part of the race really counts against him for a while. I think he could get it, but I don't trust him over it. Charlie.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. Royal Scotsman, I'll be against him. I think you're banking on that with a run under his belt, he's going to be more relaxed, but I don't see why that's a guarantee. And I think he's also plenty of boot that's probably going to come back in trip. I'm going to keep the faith that High Royals running the Guineas wasn't a fluke, and that he's very much a raw horse that's been a work in progress. And I still think there were signs of greenness in that performance at Newmarket. And he's obviously got a big engine, and I think in what probably you'd argue is a relatively ordinary renewal of this race. I'm going to take him to take another step forward.
Okay, I'm going to take an absolute flyer on Car Shamar at 34.0 win and place. It's an 11 runner field. I don't really trust the second and the third from Newmarket on what was a weird race on soft ground where the Aidan O'Brien horses really underperformed. I don't like it that Paddington's third in here. He might prove too good. He'd be the one I was most tempted with. Galeron, I don't think is good enough. And Sharon, I don't think is a miler. And then you get to Car Shamar, who achieved a Racing Post rating of 96 last time. Well, that's up there with what Age of Kings did on his penultimate start. That's better than Charon's performance in the Guineas. It's up there with what Cairo did at Dundalk in listed company. It's up there with what Galeron did on his previous start to the Guineas. Yes, it was on the all-weather. He might be a turf horse. He might want more cut in the ground. But you've had a 26.0 winner in Romanized, a 17.0 winner of Phoenix of Spain, 9.0 Max Swinney a couple of years ago. I don't know. Win and Place, I thought that was a fair enough shout. Small stakes, a race I'm not fully enamoured with.